I just call upon Dr. Shankar now. If you look at this entire world where we are living, there's so much of disruptions that are going across, and particularly something which everyone would say is EV. The mobility is highly disrupted. So now, in this context of disruptive evolution, I would like to hear your thoughts on why you think the mobility professionals should be investing their time to really learn something which can give a huge return, and more so how they can be leaders in the mobility as India itself is evolving in that path.
Sure. This is really a golden opportunity for India to take the lead and build the right kind of mobility solutions that will make it entirely sustainable. So if you do it right, we'll be leading not only in India, but become a global hub for electric mobility. That's a kind of opportunity that's before us. And when we try to do that, it's very important that we use powerful tools like TRIZ when we try to solve these problems. Because first of all, the problem is a fairly complex problem. If I'm talking about electric vehicle, it's not just product level innovation, but innovations cutting across the entire ecosystem. Charging stations, the battery materials that goes into the battery, the recycling of the battery, making sure that the electricity for charging comes from renewable sources. There are so many things that I have to consider if I'm trying to build a solution which is entirely sustainable. So the very complexity of the problem demands that you need some powerful tools like TRIZ to handle the complexity and focus on the right problems and quickly solve. That's the very first reason why it's critical for us to go for TRIZ at this stage. The second is, of course, before we make big investments, first we need to make sure that we secure the intellectual property space where we are going to solve the most important problems and come up with ideas, inventions which are patentable. That's the very first thing. If I have some strong patents, then it's very easy to convince my business to invest money and further scale up the efforts. So there again, when I look at the patent space, it's getting crowded very fast. So tools like DFP is what is going to help me to quickly come up with my own strategy when it comes to IP creation in the space. So first we talked about basically the complexity of the problem. It's not just at a product level, but at an ecosystem level. The second is to come up with strategic approaches for IP creation. Both these places, TRIZ is super powerful, makes life so easy. The third and the most important thing is where a couple of the panelists already touched upon, which is to look at future trends in the EV space. EV is developing so fast that we have to start thinking about what are the key trends that are going to shape the electric mobility of the future. So that again, TRIZ, with its very powerful technology evolution trends, is going to help us to clearly visualize how this whole technology is going to shape up going forward, so that I can be little ahead in terms of picking up problems and creating those future emerging directions. So in all these three areas, I would strongly rely upon TRIZ to help me out. So I think that's where TRIZ is going to play a very key role for us to make sure that we are solving the right problems, creating strong IP, and also looking at what are those future directions.
Thank you, Dr. Shankar. I think that's very well said.